Hello, everybody. It's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. I know we haven't done a Sunday chat for a little while, but I thought, look, I'm just going to come on here. Now, it is a super rainy day, so my fingers are crossed that my internet is going to be super duper good. So if it's not, I do apologize, and of course, any of you can watch this later. So usually every second Sunday, I do a chat, but as lots of you know, I've had the flu and just not well for nearly 2 weeks now. So anyway, we are back on here. We're going to do a short Sunday chat. Now today is going to be all about important things, of course. So we want to talk about products. We want to talk about packaging. I will show you a couple of things of how I started to where I am now, and also trends. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that you need to do in regards to trends. Trends are really important because it depends on your target market. But if you're having people buying your products that are younger, they're usually going to be onto trends. So that's something that is super important to always be onto that. And I've written a little bit of information today so that we can get going and understand exactly what we're going to talk about. So now, first of all, let's talk about a couple things like, you know, creating a new product. Now, you might think my product's really good, I love it and it's doing well, and your product might be doing really well, but you still need to bring in other products. And what you can do is you can have a core line, and then you can actually just bring in products. You know, it might just be, say, for Valentine's Day, you might just bring in one particular product that might be like a red rose product. Let's pretend it's a red rose soap, a red rose lotion. And it might literally only be limited for that time, and then it can go. And what it does is it actually helps keep interest. So it helps people go, wow, that's a new product. And it just makes you be seen again. Otherwise, everything just looks the same. And if you even look at stores like McDonald's, their store has been around for a long time, and they don't just keep it the same. They realize that it looks old fashioned from the 80s. So then they've modernized it to obviously today. So that's the thing, you know, even if you have a soap product that works really well, you usually need to upload it a little bit and just do a couple more things on it. So anyway, like I said, that's something that you can do, is just kind of bring in a few extra little products. That's really important. And, you know, especially at Christmas too, I have a lot of people ask me, you know, should I bring in these amazing things at Christmas? Well, you know, I always say to try not to bring in too many things from Missouri. Hello, darling. Try not to bring in too many things that are Christmassy related, because they're hard to move after Christmas. And do remember, you know, if you're doing Christmas things, you really want to bring those in late October, even September. And if you're doing wholesale, I'd definitely say by September, you need them up and going. I do see a lot of people on Fair, if they sell on Fair, they'll actually start introducing them late August. So, because you've got to remember that a lot of people are going to buy their Christmas things in probably late August, even July sometimes, and then they keep going from there. So that's the thing. You know, you need to kind of always be on the ball, always thinking before it sort of happens. So that's something really important when you're bringing in products. Just have a look, are they going to do work for the new season? And I will tell you, for me, I never bring in products that are just for summer, just for autumn. I just don't do it. So if that's, you know, what you're kind of thinking of, just letting you know, I don't do that. I generally have, you know, my core line, and then I just have things that I think, well, this might sell, you know, this is trending a little bit at the moment. And then that's kind of how I go with that. So now we've talked a little bit about that. Now I'm going to show you a couple things. Now, if you're a soap maker, there's a couple options. So first of all, you can just have your bar of soap like that. I've seen lots of people sell it plain like that. And then when they ship it out, they might wrap it in a piece of tissue or something. And then obviously it has all the ingredients on it. But on your shelf, you can have it like that. So you can just have it plain. You can, of course, have the cigar band. And then, of course, you can have something like this. This was the next thing that I did. Now, one thing I'll tell you that I did wrong at the start. Number one, I used an image that I didn't understand about on Canva. I didn't understand that you needed to license a lot of the images. The second thing that I did is I did all this pink, but it was so light that you could barely see it, so it didn't stand out on the shelf. And I did too many cursive writings, and then that was hard for people to see on that as well. So that was also a bit hard. Hi, Pam, my darling. So that was the second one. These have sold super well, though. Then I went to one like this, and I decided, okay, I'm going to sort of do this. After a while, I looked at this and went, I just felt it looked like everyone else's soap. So then I went away from that. So that we're up to number 3 already, my friends. And then, so this is not the normal box. So I actually have these boxes that I'm getting made. This is just, I did this myself just so I could see what it looks like, but it does have a much more beautiful picture on it than this that I've created. So, and then of course that was just like a demo for me. So in the future, my things are going to be in a box. Now, if you're like me, a lot of people want the boxes, but they can't afford them. Now, can you imagine if I had 15 different soaps and then I had to get 15 different boxes? Honestly, it'd be $15,000 at a minimum. So for me, what I actually decided to do is I did one box that was all the same colors, that had the same sort of pink girl, because obviously my company's all pink and it's recognizable for me. And then then on the side here, I actually have little boxes. So one will say vanilla, but one will say raspberry, and so on. And then that actually will define everything on here. So that's basically why I did it like that. And as I go forward, if it ends up taking off really well, then I'll be able to slowly get the boxes and afford it. And also, I'll show you something else. So, and then I've got these little babies. Now, these are not a sample. These are what I call a try me bar of soap. So in future, I'm going to also have these, and these ones will be boxed. And I've been talking to somebody about the boxing for those. But for me to get the boxing for those, it's going to cost me $5,000. So it's a huge amount of money. So I told them, I can't afford that now, need to save up. So anyway, that's just a little bit about packaging. Now, another thing you can do is buy, this is a plain craft lip balm, and then you can just put your own kind of, label around it. That's something you can do. Now, I'm going to be honest, labeling is the hardest thing you will ever do out of creating. I think making it is the easiest. Creating the labels, getting it ready to sell is the hardest thing that you'll ever do, because there's so many regulations that you need to adhere to. You really need to understand there's, different things like, your inky names, which is their scientific name for ingredients that you're using, such as shea butter and so on. I won't even try and pronounce them because I can't. But, it's really important to understand the labeling. Now, whether you're in Australia or another country, in Australia, and I'm pretty sure even in other countries, you can go on our website. It's called ASIC, which is ASIC. And if you go into ASIC and then on the search bar, and it's free, just type in labeling and it will give you an idea of labeling. So it will give you an idea in Australia of labeling. And in Australia, our labeling is pretty much the same as the US. And it's very clear, and the US might have a similar thing. But anyway, it will tell you, where you're meant to put the ingredients list. And I see lots of people that what they do is they don't even put the weight of products. Even on websites, I've looked at so many websites and they have this beautiful description and then I can't see the weight of the product. And I'm like, wow. And sometimes it's not even on there and I have to zoom in close on the product to see the weight. And that does surprise me that they won't have that on there. Because a lot of people might say, well, I only want a soap that's 100 grams. I don't want a 150 gram bar, because they might not like the size. So anyway, it's one of those hard things, isn't it? So all these things are important things to note. Now, I'm going to show you something else as well. So if you're doing a shower steamer, this is just a round one. I've just put this sticker on. This is just a Mumban sticker. But I will tell you, if you're using Mumban, and I love it, unfortunately, this color, because it's a thermal printing, if you're using essential oils, it will come off. It will slowly come off. And if you sit this and another one on top of it, it will take it off straight away. So you can start with something like that, do it yourself, and then you can go to something like this. And these are my shower steamers in the box. And this is something else that you can do. That costs a lot of money. It costs thousands of dollars to do those boxes, and I definitely did not do them at the start, my loves. I 100% did not. And also things like, body gels and things like that. I would love to have them boxed to make them look really professional. And I just think something boxed looks really nice on the shelf if, you're trying to sell to stores and that's your goal. But boxing costs more money, so you need to have your prices up. And so here is my new gel, which I've just put my new label on. It's going to have the label on the back, which will be the ingredient list. But, you know, they would look better in a box. But then, of course, if it's in a box, it's going to cost you another $1 to $2 more. So you need to charge more money. I mean, there's just so many things involved in making products and thinking about it. So my number one rule is if you're selling at a market, don't worry about boxes. Just put a beautiful label on. If you want to make them look even more fancy than your competitors, I would get professional labels made. You can design it yourself on Canva and go to places like Long Story Short. And Long Story Short Design, they actually make them in Australia and they make them for overseas. So they do a lot of things for overseas and here. So you can use that company, and their labels honestly are extremely high quality, probably the best I've seen. They're not the cheapest, but definitely the best that I've seen. So that's what I would do, and stay away from boxes if you're at a market, because I mean, although the boxes look beautiful, it's really shops that want that. People at a market don't care, and it's going to cost you more money. But if you want to get a little bit better, then I would definitely say boxing, because you'll do much better on Faire when something's boxed or professionally packaged. And the last month, I've done really, really well on Faire. And I honestly believe that I've done so well on Faire because of the packaging. So, and now I was going to show you something and I've actually forgot it. So hold on, let me just go and grab it. I'll be 1 second. I had to sneak over to the other side, my loves. So now we do have, so this is my new candle. Isn't it lovely? I just love it. And of course it's looking beautiful. So if somebody gets one of these candles, I used to sell them just like that. And then of course I would wrap them up. But now I actually put them all in a bag. So they come in a bag like this. These ones here have been professionally like sealed on. I've had them professionally made, this particular thing here. There's a lot of companies around that will, you know, print them on a meter sheet. And then I actually use the Mumban and sticker and just put it on the side about what it is. So then the bags are all the same. And it's just the side sticker that will say the scent or whatever. And I've had a number of stores buy them and say they actually really do love them. Now, another thing you can do is something a bit different. This is one of my new candles. If you can see, it's like a glitter. It does have a glitter kind of element on the side, which is really, really beautiful. I only have two with that glittery kind of thing. And that is a bit of a technique when you're doing these sort of, you know, these candle molds and things like that. So, you know, try and have something that stuck out. And I didn't see anyone doing anything like that. So I thought, well, that is a good thing to bring into it as well. So now we've talked a little bit about that. We've talked about trends. So keep up to date of trends. And if you go into a store, you know, go into any beauty store. So if you're going to, for instance, Bath and Body, I think that's in America and here, you could literally go into their front of the store, see what is selling at the front. Whatever's selling at the front is what's trending. So try and keep up with the trends, because that is so important. Those trends, you know, big companies like that do a lot of work behind the scenes. You don't need to do the work. Just see what they're doing and start doing something similar. Of course, do not copy, but, you know, if at the front they're all about lotions, obviously lotions are a big thing and they're trending and people are buying more of those lotions. So maybe that's something you need to bring into your range. So that will kind of give you a little bit of an idea, and hopefully that kind of helps. Now, we've talked a little bit, like I said, a little bit about packaging. And one thing that I've learned, you know, I had this idea of, let's just make them all beautiful. You know, all the packaging looks lovely. Well, it might, but it doesn't create a brand. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that all your texts are the same. Try and make sure that if your logo's at the top, it's going to be at the top in every single design you make. There is no good having it in the middle in one, the top in the other. And even when I did these boxes at the start, they look lovely, but if you can see, this is my name here. There's no logo. And they're the mistakes that I made, but, you know, I'd ordered thousands and thousands of them. So I was like, well, I'll just get rid of those. I'll use them up. And then the next ones, you know, we might get a little bit serious. And one thing I did want to really say to everyone is, please don't feel like, you know, you're not doing as well as your competitor. because, that's the thing. Sometimes they may have more money to pump into this. Maybe they have more of a following, and then that pushes them out with the SEO. So there's lots of things, that can contribute to someone doing better than someone else. So like I said, it may be just they have a bigger following. It may be that their SEO is doing well, that their website has been there longest. It's had more time for Google to pick things up. And each time you make even minor changes on your website, did you know that actually it flags Google to pick something else up? So it means that your website is forever changing and keeping up to date. So if you don't change your website for 6 months, Google has nothing else to attach to. So it's very important to keep up to those things. Hi, Chrissy, darling. I hope you're doing super well today, my love. I've finished my antibiotics, darling, because she's asking how I am. And I've finished all them. I'm still not 100%, so I don't know. Me and my poor daughter, Em, neither of us are great. Emily's actually in hospital. I've had a few people say, I haven't seen her that much on social media. So she's in hospital with gallstones and had surgery now. But she's slowly getting on the mend, the poor love. We all know that's horrible. So anyway, that's a little bit about our wellness or not at the moment. And like I said, the main things, the next thing we'll talk about is creating a brand. Now, when you create a brand, it's not just about, social media and all those things. I mean, yes, they're great. But, creating a brand is more so that when anyone picks up one of your products, they all look exactly the same. Oh, thanks, Chrissy. Yeah, so you just want everything to look the same. Like I said, if I look at my products, this one and this one, they are different, so that they're not looking the same. Then this one is different again. Then this one is different again. So can you see what I'm saying? How that's not really creating a brand. So even me, who's done this a while, you make mistakes all the time, and it's okay. Don't worry about those. You just got to go, okay. And sometimes you need to take time away to really think about it as well. Labels are important, Tammy. They definitely are, my love. Thank you. That's okay, darling. I appreciate you too. I appreciate everyone following me and, subscribing. And, I would never have got to where I am without, a community. And that's the thing. And that's the thing too. Sometimes people see people like me on social media and they think that we sell tens of thousands of dollars a month. I don't sell anywhere near that. There are some weeks that I may not even have a sale, especially in these times. Honestly, if it wasn't for Fair, I would struggle. I don't sell a lot retail. Most of my products are sold wholesale. So for Fair, that definitely, so I think to give you an idea, if you're on Fair, the last 3 months, I think I've had about 600 people hit my Fair site, my Fair channel. So, but sometimes you might only get, at the start on Fair, I got like 10. I got 10 people a month looking at my site. So it takes a long time. So the thing is, if you give up early, you're missing an opportunity. That's the truth. And it just does really take, honestly, a lot of time to do all of these things and just to give your company a bit of a chance to be seen. So we'll get back to the main thing, which, like I said, was branding yourself. Now, for me, as you can tell, branding, I did this on purpose, creating a shop that was pink. It stood out. Pink stands out. Doesn't matter whether you're pink. If you had an orange shop, it would stand out. So, but for me, I decided, okay, my shop's pink. I need everything to match with that. And so what I've done, even though I didn't really advertise this, I've really had a whole branding, recap and thought, okay, so, and none of you really see that so much now, but I have, I've lowered down my product so that I have 17 cents. And that may be a lot to a lot of people, but because I sell to shops, I need to have a lot of different scents. And some people only have 6, and that's okay. But I have some companies that buy from me that are all fruity and some that are floral. So that kind of gives them more of an option. So what I've done is created a list for myself, and they're the scents I'm sticking to. And then at Christmas, so out of the 17, there's a couple in there that are only Christmas ones, or so they're not, full core ones all the time. And then to stick to that. And then from there, then you go, okay, so for instance, if you're going to sell this soap and you like this whole look, you need to say to yourself, okay, I love this whole look. So every product I do must be like this. So how I've got soap here, if you were to do, let's say lotion, this heart would need to be in the O in the lotion. So you want to keep it always the same. And then people pick it up and they recognize the product. Super important. And I hope the internet is okay, because I can see it is not looking beautiful at all. My face looks like it is a little bit stuck on there. But anyway, hopefully you can see me and we're going to pick up again, because like I said, we are in thunderstorms and rains in Melbourne. But anyway, like I said, so just try and make sure that your branding is on trend. Try and make sure that your branding all look the same. It's super important, friends. It really, really is. It is so important to keep everything looking exactly the same. And hopefully I can refresh my channel and everyone can see, but either way, you can still hear me, can't you? So try and make sure that everything looks exactly the same. Make sure it's looking beautiful, and, get going with your business plan. You can join me on Patreon. I've started to put a lot of test sheets on there, and I do hope that really and truly does help everybody on there as well, my friends. So just go and look at things like that. Super important. Oh, you can still hear me. Well, okay, well, good. I'm glad that you can hear me at least, because, I mean, look, it's only my face, but it's really what we're talking about. So thank you, Chrissy, for telling me that, darling, because I can see my internet is not lovely, but it's okay. So with that, try and keep your brands. Like I said, the brand, it's really important to make sure that everything is the same text. You want to keep the same text. You want to keep, like I said, the same images or colors, whatever you're using, and you can change it. So if you have a lavender image and then a rose image, that's fine, but maybe make that really light in the background. And then what you can do is, if you have a square around the outside that's black, let's pretend you've got a square, and you're doing that, then what you can actually do is keep the square there, and then on every single thing you're going to put that square frame on it, because it just makes it all look the same. So if you go into Lush and you pick up a product, every single bit of their branding looks the same. It has that chalk and writing, that hand looking writing. And that's really important, because, creating a brand, I think, is one of the hardest things you will ever do. And you'll make lots of mistakes, as I've done along the way. But one of the most important things, everyone, is just making sure that everything matches, whether it's a lotion to a soap to a candle. Try and make sure that they all look the same. And that is not easy. It sounds really easy, but it's actually not. It's quite difficult. As I said, I've done my candles where the candles are in a bag. So at the start, if you can't afford a box, find another way. Like maybe you can even go to a discount store and get some canvas bags, and, you can actually even get a stamp and stamp the bags. I've seen that being done too. And that looks really professional too. So you just got to be kind to yourself. And, look, it's taken me years and years to be able to afford even one lot of boxing. And the only thing at this moment that is boxed is my shower steamers. So I'm definitely working on the other things that I'm doing as well, like I said, and I am definitely working on the next things that are going to be coming out are going to be the soaps in the box. And in Australia, our soap laws have changed a lot. I'm reading through a lot of those. So it is really important to understand that. And to be really honest, I think the new soap laws in Australia, they've made it very difficult to understand on the website. And I think they've done that on purpose. I don't think the videos are very helpful. I think they've made it extremely scientific, and it is definitely geared at a big business, not a small business. And maybe that's their goal, to try and keep only big business going with soap making. And I do think it will push a lot of people out, or it will push a lot of people to not even register. So, but please register. Please try and understand that. As I understand it a bit more, hopefully I'll do a video in future to explain a bit more, but I'm not a legal expert or anything like that. So I try not to give, any advice that is outside of the scope of what I personally understand. But anyway, that's just a little bit about the soap. But, look, you shouldn't be in trouble, everyone, if you're just trying to do the right thing. If you're really trying. And on Patreon, I've actually put a test sheet for soap making on there. So if you're at those levels, which I think is like the $10 level and above, I can't remember. But anyway, go on there and you'll be able to find those test sheets. You can print them out for yourself. And I'm going to do some test sheets for other products as well, like lotions and things like that. So I'll start to bring a few of them out. I've bring out the first few, and I bought out the first few pages of my book that I'm designing, which is going to take me a very long time, just so that you can kind of see where I'm going with it. And of course, you can give me some other options if you like, if you sort of want to, you know, weigh into that whole debate. And my book is not going to be all just about recipes. It's really more about my journey and how it's got me here. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully that just helps lots of you along the way, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to create a community and help everyone. So also, if you want to come to the conference, that's going to be in Queensland next year. So I've had a few people saying that they want to come to Melbourne. Please don't. It's not in Melbourne. It's in Queensland next year, my lovelies, if you are coming to that conference. But there'll be more details as well on that. Oh, you'll definitely buy the book, Chrissy. Thank you, darling. I'm going to do it at the start, I think, more as an ebook, but it will definitely go to print. I don't know how I'm going to do that this stage. I'm just doing the transcript, and it's just going to take a lot of time. You know, so if anyone knows anything about book editing or, you know, publishing a book, please snap me up on one of these social medias and, you know, send me a private message because it's not my jam. But anyway, hopefully. Hi, Joni. How you going, my love? Welcome to our Sunday chat, which we are almost finished on Sunday chat. It's a short one today because, as you can tell, my voice is still not very good. And I'm sorry that it's frozen, the camera, but you can still hear me. You know, we're in rainstorms and raining and horrible in Melbourne. I'm really sick of the cold already, and it's only been a week. I don't love the cold. So, but yeah, like I said, if you want to watch this back, everyone, please watch it back. We've talked about a bit about branding and creating products, and a few examples I've given you at the start, which you'll be able to see the examples, you know, of my products on how I've sort of developed them and changed them a lot. And it's really important, you know, and the biggest thing is when I've seen a lot of my friends do really well with their companies. And the thing is, you know, they've done really well because they put themselves out of their comfort zone, and they really do try and, you know, push their product. If you just sit there and wait, no one's coming to you. You need to do that, which is really hard because, you know, it makes you feel uncomfortable, uneasy. It's very difficult, isn't it? But, you know, that's just the way we've got to do it. So I'm going to let you all go from here. Please have a look at your branding. You know, go into other stores. It's free to look in other stores, how they've done it, and it might give you some inspiration or some ideas on, you know, what you can actually do to get this all going. Anyway, bye for now, my friends. I'll see you on Sunday chat in a couple of weeks' time. Bye.